kid somewhere down the line gets bashed out of the system or is lost. When does that happen? And really, does education, as is commonly understood, really the only thing that's important here? Having learned something about early child development when we were planning for the Human Development Institute of the university, seems as if really the answer lies probably preconception and during incubation and safe delivery, right. And then the first year of life, or maybe the first 3 years, and then extending to the first 3 years, and then the first 8 years. And you can see how at that stage you can actually truly, through public education, and mothers are the key here. They're the ones who really care about this.
That's right.
That you could eventually have a population of individuals who have acquired the learning ability, who have acquired responsible social behavior. They've also acquired the mental health and the basis for competence of the immune system, which then lasts for a lifetime. So, and all that can happen, really, that'll be the only time when you can actually have equality. And it's through mothers, and it's through their understanding of early child development and its consequences. And eventually that will lead to a society that behaves differently. So I wish I would feel optimistic about the country.
I think still we were optimistic in spite of all those things. At the end of the day, we used to discuss all the frustrations. I still we were upset. Tomorrow it will change.
Yes. And that was the disappointment, that 42 years on, you can find the same rot that existed. Then obviously it's changing, but it's changing slowly.
Actually, I was introduced to him by Professor Khwaja Moin, and one of my tasks was how to keep him in this country, because everybody was troubling and sure that he is not going to stay. The way he was facing the situations, as he said, no patient follow-up, no records, no lab facilities, and every day the registrar will change, and he, being a thorough physician, would like to know what happened yesterday, and yesterday was gone. There was no yesterday today. So one of my job was that to somehow or other to hold him back, otherwise he will leave the country and he get away. So I was introduced by, and frankly speaking, he became great source of support and comfort to me. He became, and so far I am concerned, I had worked here before, so I knew a little bit of the condition, and I applied to get a job here 3 times from there, and every time my application was never complete. So it was lost somewhere in the way, in the middle of it. And my problem was that I had a senior registrar job waiting there, and I had to change my nationality, which I didn't want to change. So I was just in a limbo to change it, not to change it, and I was keen to come here. in this situation, I thought, let me go and try. So I came here to try it. And it was, my first experience was devastating because the stage at which I had left, I thought it must have improved. It has gone way down. And my first observation in civil hospital was that the records were being sold and purchased by the people who were had nothing to do with it, and they were
selling chana.
that side, and they were just thinking. And I said, "What about urology ward record? It is there in that corner." So I went and I took something. They said, "Oh, doctor, you can have as many as you want." I said, "No. Please give me properly, weigh it and give it," and that I got. That was beginning of our record room, because I had been there for about 3 months, and the government was pestering not to keep the record because the police reports were there, and there where they used to make money. So I said, I will keep it with me. So I took the record, and then one day there was a big meeting of hospital management committee and academic council, and I was summoned there to answer why I was holding the record back with me. The records belong to government property. It is very illegal, all those things, and that why your services should not be terminated. So I went there, and when they described everything, then I said that this is how I have received the record from paperwala who was purchasing it, and in weight, so many pounds. I was wondering if I could be allowed to hand over the record to the person who will be taking over from me in numbers, so many thousands. So they didn't believe it, and I put the paper. That was the beginning. So things started there. So we started with the record. That was the first point, I could say, where they said that your services should be terminated because you are interfering with the government property. Records belong to the government and they should be in there. I said, nowhere, record will be with me. And that's how the beginning of our record we have got here. Then the other thing was that there was a rule at that time that every patient has to pay for the bed he is occupying.
Oh, yeah.
So I said, no payment, we will not charge anything for the payment. And then that was another thing, that you are taking the money away at home, all those things. Anyway, the third thing came that we had no water, no medicine, nothing of the sort. So there was a big row with the colonel used to be the chief. So you say that you are keeping your ward open after 5. You have got no right to keep your ward open after 5. Silly things were coming up. But I was lucky to have people who were supporting. And your greatest support to us was on the clinical side, because we used to get the patient with septicemia, you remember, and you used to live there on Tariq Road. Yes. In the middle of the night at 2 a.m., we'll go and knock your door, get you out of your bed, bring you here and say that we don't know what's going on here. We had no even manometer, no way to monitor the, forget a central line, anything like that. And then you used to come, let us raise the foot end of the bed, see if the blood pressure is coming down, improving, the pulse is coming down, all those things. So we used to spend day and night together there. And yours was a great help to us. And so we were personally got interested that you should not leave this place. We knew that you were suffering. But at the same time, one of the job given to me by Khwaja Main and people like him who wanted you to stay there, hold him back here, otherwise he will run away. And conditions were, I think we thought that they will improve.
Oh, yes.
They never improved. We thought they are short of fund, but there was no paucity of the fund. They had enough fund. The new cars were purchased, all those things were done, but nothing for the board. There was no water supply.
Yes,
There were no drainages were not there. All the sewages were bad and blocked, and there were no drugs. You write some drug will come there, and
spurious drugs.
nothing. Spurious drugs used to be there, and so in that struggle, frankly speaking, I had somebody to support me, and that was Kamal Vellani. He used to support me. And once when we did our first transplant, everybody sat down in the middle and was made to stretch his palm, and a piece of bread was put on our hand, and somebody was putting some vegetable. He said, now what should I do with it? And so actually we had we have got very long association, and the association is more through the miseries rather through the good days. And you have been a great support to us, frankly speaking. And when we say that we would like to do the dialysis, you were the only person who supported. Otherwise, everyone else used to say, dialysis is not possible in this country. They will die and all this thing will happen. And we had no machine. We started with peritoneal dialysis. Then we got one machine from Sheffield, and we started on that machine. They used to develop septicemia, all that thing, and you were in the middle of the night to help us out from that. And he used to come with his Smythe sometime.
Yes.
She was Smythe and stay in the ward and just encourage us. That was going on. And we never thought that you were not in civil hospital, that you had joined Aga Khan. Whenever we had any problem, we used to ring you up, pester you, even used to bring you back, please come and see this case. So it was something which was the joint purpose we had. We were very keen that civil hospital should improve, frankly speaking.
Absolutely.
Very keen that it should improve. And one of the reasons was that he always used to say, the outpatient has been closed and so many patients are sitting outside and waiting and nobody is going to see them. Nobody is going to see them. That used to be there. And professors used to sit in their big limousine. I used to go home.
Yeah, I remember that.
So our association has been through miseries and is struggling against those miseries to improve the conditions.
It's very true.
And then another task was that he was not very keen to join even Aga Khan University and telling. And once Khwaja Moin called me and told me that if Kamal Vellani is not going to join Aga Khan University, Aga Khan University will not take off. He said that you need somebody who has got credibility. And at that time he was known as Qaid-e-Azam. Known as Qaid-e-Azam. He looks like him, he's honest, he's straight, and he will just talk his spade. He's not going to mince his words. So they say that Aga Khan University must come, but to come in practice, it needs somebody who has got credibility.